So hey folks, we're going to do something a little different today. I had the unique opportunity to set up a little interview booth at the 2022 Crappie Expo in Branson, Missouri a few weeks back, courtesy of Lee and Jennifer Sharp from Brushpile Jigs. The Crappie Expo is the unofficial kickoff of the winter fishing show season. The goal was to meet and interview great folks in the crappie industry, including folks involved with the expo as well as folks fishing the tournament. Big thanks to Lee and Jennifer for the opportunity. I hosted a live stream on my Panfish Guy Facebook page as well as on Brushpile Jigs and My 724 Outdoors that weekend. These interviews are excerpts from the live streams. The video and audio could be a little better, but I think since I recorded them from the stream, they're a little bit glitchy. First up is Mr. Scott Turnage, a heavy hitter in outdoor media and the host of G3 Sportsman. Let's get after it. There he is. Hey, we got Mr. Scott Turnage in the booth. Thanks for stopping by. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, coming by the Crappie Expo, and I always like to come by the brush pile booth because I think it's always the best looking booth.
Yeah.
It's always lit up, and
they got it going on, don't they?
it is. It's always neat.
There's a lot of good visual presentations out here.
There is. This is a good venue. I hate it that it's not here every year.
Right.
You know, I mean,
close to home, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to have something like this every year.
Yeah.
And but it's always good to come and catch up. You know, the show seasons have been kind of down the last
they sure have,
2 years or so because of you know what. And it's
Yeah.
kind of nice to get back out and visit and rekindle relationships and see friendly faces again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you're from,
I live in Springfield.
you're in Springfield.
Yeah, I've been there
so-
30 years
Okay.
and still with G3 boats.
So,
Still trying to be out there making a living.
right, born and raised Springfield?
No,
or-
I was actually southeast Missouri, West Tennessee, North Alabama
Okay.
areas.
So you know that Real Foot Lake area?
I grew
Wapapella, all
up
that
fishing,
business?
not as much Wapapella, but more real foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites down there. So you, growing up, who influenced you into fishing?
I'd say it was my granddaddy. We called him Big Daddy.
Big Daddy?
His mother was full-blooded Indian. We were scared to death of her. And Big Daddy, his name was Lewis. We called him Big Daddy, and his wife, my grandmother, we called her Big Mama. Big Mama, Big Daddy. He loved the outdoors, and so he got me into crappie fishing.
Right.
Mainly, we had normally because we grew up, you know, the Mississippi River or whatever, and it was always that was a little bit much even for us when we were little kids, you know,
Right.
the Mississippi, even though it was a different era where we weren't scared of stuff like people are now.
Right.
We you know, bar pits, and they were digging out I-55, so there was lots of ponds and,
Right.
and full of bass, and so we banked fish and this, that, and the other. But I remember he got a boat, a little stick steering boat, and we got to fishing over at Reelfoot.
Yeah.
And we got hung up on stumps and everything else.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
And when I used to fish over there, when I was a kid, they still had all the resorts that used to be there.
Right. Like the old nations.
Bill Nations and all of them. My memory is really bad now, but if you mention them, I know who they were. But they had them everywhere, and they had the lake boats, you know, that you
Right.
used to rent, those wooden lake boats.
Yep.
And stuff. But he had his own boat, and he really got me into crappie fishing. In fact, the first time I ever fished with a long pole, and back then a long pole was 9 or 10,
Right.
not like they
Right.
are now.
Yeah. Cane pole, basically, right?
Most of them
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
You know, a lot of cane, you'd have to 40-pound monofilament wrapped all the way around the ends, you know,
Yeah.
and all. And let me get my phone off. And but that was my first introduction to real fishing, and what I mean real fishing
So-
is in a boat.
So you basically cut your teeth at Real Foot.
Yeah, I did, and at one time you could drop me from a helicopter anywhere on that lake at night, and I could tell you where I was.
Nice.
But now, since I've been gone so long, I don't know one end of the
Right.
lake from the other.
That lake's scary at night, too.
Oh yeah, I've been now.
I got stuck out there my first trip, and
Yeah, I was out at the end of Sandberg Ditch,
Right.
and I couldn't find the right channel to get back in. It was getting dark.
Right.
I got all scared
Yeah.
because it all looks the same out there.
Yeah.
But well, what are you doing with yourself these days? So you still got the G3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fisherman. You're doing mostly YouTube. Or?
I am. I did network TV for 13, 14 years, and really got burned out after so long doing 26 episodes a year.
Kind of a grind, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
If you do that many, that's an episode every other week, and then having to edit everything, and we was on 5 different networks, and so all the ins and outs and closed captionings, and then you figure changing from into HD and 4Ks and everything else, beta decks to everything else just changed in that one 10-year period. That was just it just really got something else. So I really didn't have time to do social media when it started coming out.
Right.
So then I get out of TV and think, okay, well, we'll get into the social media. Well, that was something, in the beginning, like YouTube and all this, you bought viewership or followers for a penny a piece. And so you load it up. Well, I didn't know nothing about that because I was too busy actually doing real work.
Right.
And so now everybody knows this. I'm not saying anything that's a mystery or whatever. It's a grind on that social media. I mean, if you don't pay to play, it's a dirty, rotten business at times.
And it's still, it's because I have a small YouTube channel, and I'm not consistent enough to really keep it going, because I have a day job.
That's right.
So it's hard to keep that. You still got to grind at it, especially if you want to be monetized on YouTube. So and there are shortcuts, but I'm not really into gimmicks or shortcuts or anything like that.
No, I don't have the time to do that. I guess my job title that I'm employed there at G3 Boats is, public relations, content creator, field like promotions, this, that, and the other. So now and of course we're owned by Yamaha, so we're under the Yamaha umbrella. So now Yamaha is really wanting, because I've got 400 shows that I've done.
Right.
So now we're wanting to get into the market of streaming. I don't know what they're called, stations or platforms or whatever. So now I'm working on that. Get together my first batch, I guess you should say, to throw it out there, and we're going to get on different streaming services
like
or whatever.
Hulu or Fubo or stuff like that.
Well, I think more starting out like My Outdoor TV and Waypoint and some of those, which are going to also be on the Hulus and this, that, and the other.
Right. Okay.
So that is something now that I'm having to work for and work and do. And the everything that you have to do for them is just as hard to get everything started as it was on broadcast with all the deliverables and different size this and that. But the one good thing is, versus TV, you had to be at 21:30 or 22:15. That's your timeline.
Right.
You had to mess with the commercials and black holes and all this, where you really don't on these streaming services. So I'm learning this now too. Here I'm 61 years old, and kind of been trying to get out of this, but like the old saying, every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. But then you get to thinking about it. What would I do if I quit? Go fishing?
Right.
Well, so I mean, why don't I just
naturally?
I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. So that's kind of giving me a little boost, and to do some new stuff and all, and that way I can keep shooting the stuff the way I want to, because really at my old age I am shooting stuff simple.
Right. Now I'm curious about that, because I shoot video on a boat too. So what kind of camera gear you use?
Well,
I see you had some GoPro stuff.
Yeah, we do that.
You usually have a camera guy on board.
Yes,
too.
I will. we use, I don't know, it's a high dollar Sony that
Right.
we
DSLR thing.
yeah, we outsource with Modern Outdoor Media, and Wes Yancey is my camera guy, and so it's his equipment.
Right.
And I myself enjoy more running the camera than I do in front of the camera.
Right, right.
But I can usually never find anybody that will talk more than me. So you know, it's kind of hard to keep me shut up when I'm trying to dictate,
Sure.
direct, and let them know, hey, we need to do this, we need to
Right,
cover that.
right.
But yeah, it is. It's a DSLR camera. It's really nice. It shoots great. It's really a still. Any of these DSLRs are mainly still cameras, but they do shoot good video. But they're so heavy with those big lenses.
Yeah, yeah.
And this, but I mean, we mic up. I always like to be mic'd, but we do use POVs. We'll have Hero. What are they now? 11s, 10s,
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that. Yeah.
The best thing, if you can find an actual video camera with a cache, CACHE,
Yep.
I think that's how you spell it.
Yep.
That, bar none, that's the way to go.
Oh, is that right?
You never miss a hook set, because when that cache, you can back it up to 10 or 20 seconds.
Sure.
So you have that cache set, you're pointing in that direction, you get a hook set, when you hit record, it backs up
Oh, cool.
20 seconds. We mainly use the GoPros for maybe a different view or whatever else, but it's mainly to not miss the hook set.
There you go. There you go.
That's basically why we use them.
Okay. And I run my GoPros all day, although that makes editing just
I
because
loop.
you're
I loop.
looking through an entire day of footage for maybe
Right,
5 or 6
I loop.
sunsets.
I loop. I put it on a 5-minute
Yeah.
loop, and so then if we catch a fish, then I'm not going to say it because it'll go off.
Right, right.
But I'll say
Yeah.
stop recording,
right.
you know, and it'll go off.
Yep.
And so, but then you got to remember to crank it back on. You know, when
Yeah.
you used to, when you could just push the button, you
Right.
knew to physically
Right.
to do it. So it was to me,
Yeah.
it was easier, and I wouldn't miss something. But then I don't know why it does it, but it breaks it up into, in that 5-minute loop. It breaks it up into 5 1-minute clips.
Yeah.
I would rather it just be the one.
Yeah, it doesn't, they don't, because even if you keep it running constantly, it's
It's
like a
in-
17-minute clip, 1741 to be exact. So,
And it's 17 clips, isn't it?
yeah. Well, no, it's all one clip.
Well, see,
But
mine,
it's-
when I'm looping,
Yeah.
it'll be a 5-minute loop, but in that
We'll
5
break
minutes.
it up in 5
Yeah,
segments.
but the nice thing is it backs up to the past 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's similar to the cache.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
but people could go out and if you have the means and you have a 2-camera shoot, have them in different places or whatever. They've got adapters you could put on there
Sure.
with a mic, with even a windscreen or whatever if you don't want a mic. But you can get mics now that are actually not cordless. I know the cordless mics that they've said from Sennheiser still have a cord on them.
Yeah.
But you can get the clip mics that actually work pretty good. You can mount them. They've got a shoe on top of here.
Yep.
Mounted up here. Your audio is as important as your video.
Right.
And now you can do stuff like that.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and make it a
Absolutely.
little more professional. You know, and maybe grow a YouTube channel or whatever. Do your own show.
Right.
There you go.
There you go. So, thank you for coming by the booth. You got a favorite brush pile color?
Of course I do.
Do you?
Right here.
What do you got there?
This is Wyatt's Blue Magic.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Those are good
Right here.
right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That-
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Hey, appreciate you coming by.
You bet.
Thanks for stopping in.
You bet.
Good luck on look for Scott on Hulu or some other
Well,
streaming
that's
service
probably after next year, the
In-
first of the year.
in the very near future.
Yeah, there you
Right?
go. Yeah, G3 Sportsman. There you go.
All right. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
So if you couldn't tell, I have a little bit of work to do on my interview skills. Preparation is everything, guys. Hope you enjoyed.